Good morning. I'm Adriann White, and we're doing chair yoga at the Community Arts Center of Cambria County. So I'd like to welcome everyone that's here in person, and I'd like to welcome those of you who are joining us on our Community Arts Center YouTube channel. Remember, you do what your body lets you do today. Some days we feel more energetic than others. Some days, depending on the weather, our arthritis may act up a little bit more. So do what you can do safely, remembering that when we do our stretches, it's okay to go, oh yeah, I feel that stretch, but we don't want it to become ow. If you start wincing or grimacing or gritting your teeth, those are nonverbal cues to you. It's your body's way of saying, tone down just a little bit, ease back just a little bit. You'll still get the benefit of the stretches without causing pain. Because if we're hurting and we're experiencing pain, our body's natural reaction is to tighten muscles and to tense. And it's counterproductive to try to tighten and stretch at the same time. So if you're like, oh, that hurts, and you feel yourself wincing a little bit, ease up. Still get the benefit of the movement for the joint or the muscles without the contraindication of the tightening and the tenseness. Okay? So today, let's slide all the way back in the chair. We'll get our good posture. And our opening relaxation in our yoga practice is about settling in, about settling down. We find our comfortable posture. If you can, slide the whole way back in your chair. An armless chair is best, so that you have lots of range of motion for arms and legs. And then whether you let your hands rest to your lap or let your arms hang by your sides, let's make sure that our shoulders have rolled back so that we have openness in the front of the chest and the shoulders, so that as we let our arms by our sides, our arms are in line with the spine. And then if you want, just bend the elbows, rest your hands to your lap. Now let's bring our head back so that we stack our hips, our shoulders, and our ears. Nice tall posture. When we have that stacking of hips, shoulders, and ears, it means the muscles in our neck don't have to work so hard to support our head because it's a balanced posture. Now, since you know that you're in a safe place, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes. And now that we've settled our bodies, let's begin to focus on settling our thoughts, on settling our emotions, and on slowing down. You've let your body slow down to sit comfortably in your chair. And now I invite you to let your breath slow down. Just focus on feeling that breath flowing through your nostrils, your sinuses, through your throat and into your chest. And then I invite you to feel that breath slowly flowing back out. As much as possible, we try to encourage ourselves to breathe in through the nose. And that's for several reasons. First, the little hairs in our nostrils help clean the air, filtering out pollen and dust. Our sinus cavities help to warm and moisturize the air so that once it gets into our chest, that warm, moist air makes it easier for our lung sacs to pull the oxygen out of the air and then transmit it through the walls of the lungs to the bloodstream. Now, when we breathe out, it doesn't matter whether you breathe out through your nose or your mouth, but just take all the time that it takes to fill your lungs fully on the inhale, and take all the time that it takes to empty your lungs completely on your exhale. And as we continue with these longer, slower breaths, Notice, does your exhale almost feel like a sigh? And with each long, slow breath out, can we feel the tension or the tightness in our bodies gently relaxing? Can we feel ourselves becoming a little more comfortable with our posture here in the chair? And as each slow breath out helps us release any physical discomfort, can we also use the breath out to help us release any emotional or mental discomfort, any feelings, any thoughts that may be making us uncomfortable? Breathe them out. Let them go. See if we can consciously release any anger or frustration. See if we can find it within us to forgive someone who's created resentment or bitterness in us. Because as long as we hold on to that negative energy of bitterness, of resentment, of envy, of jealousy, it doesn't hurt the other person. It only poisons us from the inside out. So when we forgive someone, it's not for them. It's for our own well-being, so that we can get rid of that negativity that's poisoning us from the inside out and opening up that space within us to be happier. From here, can we let our arms hang by our sides? And whether your eyes still remain closed or you let your eyes open, on the breath in, let's pull our shoulders up to our ears. And as we breathe, hold your shoulders up. Feel how much effort that takes. Whether we do it consciously or unconsciously, hunching our shoulders creates tension and it takes effort. Exhale, release that effort and let those shoulders relax. And notice how good it feels. Let's do that 3 more times. Breathing in, shoulders float up. Breathing out, release that effort. Maybe even sigh out loud. Sometimes that audible sigh helps us relax even more. How about 1 more time? And then notice, do your neck, shoulder, and upper back muscles feel a little more relaxed? We'll go ahead and rest our hands to our lap. Our feet can be flat to the floor or to our yoga blocks. And as we breathe in, now let's lift our fingers and our thumbs from our legs while palms stay down. Let's lift our toes from the floor while the balls of the feet stay down. And now exhale and squeeze everything under and release. Again, breathing in, lift fingers, toes, thumbs. Breathing out, create tension and squeeze it under. Maybe even squeeze your belly button to your backbone and release. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling, feeling the strength in the backs of the hands, the tops of the feet. Now exhale, strengthen the fingers and palms and toes and arches. Release. How about 1 more time? Breathing in and out and relax. Did you feel your shoulders release a bit too? From here, we'll slide to sit to the very front edge of the chair. And we're going to move our shoulders forward and back. And so for it to be easier for you to see it, I'm going to turn sideways on the chair. Notice I am still sitting to the front of the chair so that my thighs are off the seat of the chair. That makes it easier when we get to moving our legs to have room to move. If I let my arms hang down, again, we can notice how my shoulders are back so that my arms align with my spine rather than sitting like this, or worse, like this. On the breath in, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you so that your chest widens and opens. And now horizontally move the shoulders forward on the breath out like you're trying to bring the points of your shoulders to touch in front. And we'll repeat. Breathing in. We're not just pulling the arms back, we're pulling the points of the shoulders back, widening across the front of the chest. And then on the breath out. Notice I'm not rounding my spine at all. I'm simply moving the points of the shoulders. We inhale, nice horizontal move back. We exhale, nice horizontal moves forward. Notice it stays on a nice straight line. The shoulders don't go up or down. Just inhale and exhale. One more time, let's inhale, pull those shoulders back. This time on the exhale, return to a neutral spine. Now we'll do some movement for our head and neck. As we breathe in, lift your forehead to the ceiling. Notice my chin is just pointing to the wall in front of me. I'm not dropping my head back to lift my chin to the ceiling, just the forehead. And then on the breath out, tuck your chin to your collarbone, the base of your throat. Notice shoulders stay up and back. Inhale, lift the forehead. Eyes gaze to the ceiling, so roll your eyes up. Now exhale, tuck chin to collarbone and roll your eyes down to your navel. We'll do 2 more times. Keep the length in the back of the neck and notice my voice really doesn't change. And then exhale. Create more length in the back of the neck by tucking chin to collarbone. Do this 1 more time. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll inhale to come back to center. I'll just turn to face you so that again you can see. We're going to do a horizontal side to side movement of the head. So I'm going to breathe in to turn my chin to the left shoulder. A nice smooth horizontal slide to the right as I exhale. And let's repeat that 3 more times. Breathing in. How far to the left can you turn? Can you point your nose completely to the left wall? And on the slow breath out, can you smoothly turn to point your nose to the right wall? Can we do a 4 to 5 second inhale as we turn left? Can we do a 5 to 6 second exhale as we turn right? 1 more time. Are we still sitting tall? Are our arms still back aside of our spine? Is the front of your chest still open? This time just exhale, come back to center. We'll do a breath in. Now on the exhale, let's reach our left ear over to the point of our left shoulder. Noticing that shoulders stay up. We're not drooping our body. If you find that your one shoulder's higher than the other, please come back up to sit. Now on an exhale, let's take right ear out and over to right shoulder. If you feel your body moving from the collarbones down, you're affecting the spine. Let's just affect the neck for now. So on a breath out, we sink ear to shoulder. On the inhale, we come to center. On the breath out, we sink ear to shoulder. We inhale. Let's do this 1 more time each side. Is it a little easier this 4th time than it was the 1st time? And do we notice? Is it easier to go to one side than the other? And then as we come back to center, let's just roll our shoulders in great big backward circles. Remember, a circle is front, up, back, down. I see people forget the front part. I see a lot of this happening. Front, up, back, down. Feel your shoulder blade moving over your ribs behind you. And again, we want our head back and up so that our ears are above our shoulders. The more we do to remind ourselves to have good posture, the less likely we are to experience neck discomfort, upper back discomfort, even lower back discomfort. Okay? All right. From here, we're going to put our hands to our shoulders if possible. Our elbows point to the side walls. As you breathe in, let's reach this left elbow as far to the left as you can safely go. Is your left foot pushing into the floor to help you balance? Are you feeling lots of length in these left ribs and waist? Now we'll exhale and come to center. Inhale, reach right shoulder and elbow to right wall. Feel right side body stretch. Exhale to center. Let's repeat 3 more times, breathing in. Feel your abdominals working to pull you to center. Breathe in. Exhale. 2 more times each side. Looking good, folks. Breathing in. Please keep your elbows up shoulder high. Think of your bra strap reaching to the side wall. I don't want to see this. We'll curve our spine later. I want to see length, really lengthening from the armpit to the hip bone. And then last time we'll come back to center. Let's bring our arms up like football goalposts. Can we lift our elbows as high as our shoulders, if your shoulders permit? And can we have our elbows back as wide as our shoulders? As we age, through decades of slouching, we often get into this position. To open up the chest, to stretch these front of shoulder muscles, to keep the back muscles strong. Open up so your elbows are as wide as your shoulders. Now where are your wrists? Are your wrists in front of your elbows? Notice what happens as you pull those wrists back above your elbows. All those little changes really affect what we feel in the front of the shoulder. Let's do a nice big breath in, keeping elbows up shoulder high. On your breath out, bring your elbows and your little fingers to touch. Now ladies, I see a number of people coming down here like this. I don't know about you, I'm not exceptionally well endowed, but when the girls get in the way, the elbows are never going to touch. So that's why we start elbows up tall, high as the shoulder, because our bust doesn't come up that high. So inhale, and now exhale. There you go. Ooh, how's that stretch across the upper back and into the points of your shoulders? 2 more times. Inhale, open wide. Come on, all the way out. And exhale, pull them all the way in. And 1 more time. Inhale, open all the way out. Stay up shoulder high, please. And exhale all the way in. This time, let's inhale, reach up top. Exhale, turn to your right, big twist. Now inhale, reach all the way up. Lift up and look up. Exhale, great big turn left and look left. Do this 3 more times each side. Breathing in and out. And breathing in. This gentle twisting through the waist is really good for our digestive tract. Every time we raise the arms and turn through the shoulders, it's good for our ribs, especially as we're heading into cold season, lots of coughing. Keep those muscles between the ribs limber and strong. It's good for our spine. This is our last time to our left. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Now bend at the hips to come forward. Chest is still reaching forward as fingers point back. Inhale, come up, and we'll repeat. Please don't do this. We're not rounding the neck or the upper back. We're keeping our upper back straight. Lead with your heart, like your heart is looking to the wall in front of you. And as we breathe in and we breathe out, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you. 1 more time. Exhale. Last time we'll just inhale up nice and tall. Now exhale, gently sway to your right. And inhale to center. Gently sway to your left. Inhale to center. If you have any shoulder issues and it's better for you to bring an arm to a shoulder, absolutely. If both shoulders hurt, you can still curve your spine like I'm doing, even with arms down. The purpose of doing arms up is it gives us a little more stretch through the armpit, through the upper ribs. And let's inhale back to center, and on the breath out, relax those arms out and down. Whew. Do we need to bounce the shoulders a little bit, letting go of any tension in neck or shoulders? Good. Okay. So we've done some twisting side to side. We've lengthened the front of the torso, the lower back. We've stretched the ribs side to side. We've worked the neck. We've done lots of work with the whole shoulder assembly. Let's stand up and do a little bit of work for lower back, abdominals, and our leg muscles. So as we stand up, we'll go to the left side of our chair. Okay. We're going to move our legs to have some hip mobility. So as we're standing, we're going to put our weight to our right foot, just bend gently, relax that right knee. Now on the breath out, pull your left knee up in front of you. I'm standing with my knee as high as my hip and my ankles directly under my knee. Now, let's do a few circles with that knee, across the front of the body, down across the floor, up across the ceiling. Good job. This looks so easy when you watch someone else do it. As we do it, do we find out that it doesn't feel quite that easy? Can we reverse the circles and go 4 in the opposite direction? That's it. Notice, does changing the direction of your circle change your range of motion or your ease of motion? Since I was talking, I lost count. We'll finish up this circle and come on back to stand. Shake out the hips a little bit. Notice knees stay bent. Our knees were designed to bend in only one direction, and that's forward. So when we bend our knees, they move forward. Our knees were not designed to bend backwards. So when we try to over straighten our knees, we end up pushing our tush out. Our weight goes to our heels. And to compensate for the weight back, our chest comes forward. And then we wonder why at the end of a day, everything hurts. So many people, self included, have to battle that issue of putting all our weight back on our heels and pushing our knees backwards, when in reality, we want to stack ears, shoulders, hips, ankles, all nice and level, and allow some of our weight to drift forward to the balls and the toes of our feet. That's what our toes are for, to help hold on to the floor and help us with balance. We'll go to the right side of the chair. And now as we stand the left foot, remember, left knee's relaxed. We bring that right knee up. And now let's go ahead and do our circles. Out and across the ceiling, across the left leg. Doesn't matter which direction you go. We'll do 2 more. Are you feeling your abdominal muscles working to help pull that leg up? And now let's reverse. So quadricep muscles on the top of the thigh are strong to pull the leg up. Abdominal muscles, think of pulling your belly button towards your backbone each time you pull that leg up across the top of the circle. And we'll finish this circle. Take a break. Again, if you want, shake the hips out a little bit, noticing both knees bend alternately and none either of them lock backwards. Now, we'll do some work for lower back. We're going to do a pelvic tilt, okay? I'll turn sideways. To do my pelvic tilt and have room for my pelvis and my tailbone to move, I'm going to bend the knees a little bit more like I'm getting ready to sit in a chair. Now notice when I bent, I didn't get into this posture. I stay tall. Notice my arms hang at the side in line with my spine. We're going to move our pelvis. As you breathe in, point your tailbone behind you. So your pelvis tilts forward. As you breathe out, tilt your tailbone to the front of your body. And we'll repeat, breathing in, noticing that from the navel and the rib cage up, the top half of my body's effortless. I'm not doing any work. In the top half of the body, my knees are staying bent, whether my pelvis tilts to the front or to the back. For many of us, this is an unusual movement. We don't tend to do this in our day-to-day lives. So it may feel really awkward at first, but when you arch the lower back, and then you exhale and you squeeze the glutes, the muscles in your buttocks to come forward. Notice how we're lengthening through the abdomen as we strengthen lower back. And then we reverse. We strengthen abdominal muscles to lengthen lower back. And it does it give you a little relief, a little release from any lower back discomfort. We'll do one more time. Let's inhale to point the tailbone back. This time on the breath out, just come to a neutral spine and we'll straighten the legs. All right. Yeah, knees have done a lot of work. So as we breathe in, we're going to touch toes forward, arms back, and relax. And then left toes front. So we're alternating toes pointing forward, both arms swing back. Again, let's check our posture. We don't want to be hunched over looking at our feet. We already know there's nothing on the floor, so stand up straight and tall. The Community Arts Center has some beautiful art on exhibit, so please be welcome to use the artwork that you can see as a focal point, a reason to look up. And I will tell you that if you find yourself feeling depressed, in a down mood, look at your posture. It's really hard to feel happy and cheerful if you walk around like this all the time, okay? If you want to lift your spirits emotionally, lift your chest, lift your heart, lift your head. Now let's see if we can reach our heels behind us as our arms reach out. So we're touching with the point of our heel, inhaling and exhaling. So notice our movement can't be quick. If we're doing slow breaths and we're coordinating the movement of our bodies with our breaths, our movement has to be as slow as our inhale and our exhale. That's the way, looking good. And come back to center, take a break. Let's roll the shoulders backwards again, alternate circles, whole shoulder assembly. Good. And now, since we're standing to the right side of the chair, we'll stand on the left leg again. One more time, let's bring that right knee up as high as your hip. Now, if you want, hold that right leg so that we know the thigh bone, the femur, does not move in the hip socket. And from the knee joint, have your foot draw a circle on the floor. Without moving the ankle, do not move the ankle, move from the knee joint. Don't move at the hip, just the knee joint, and reverse. Are we remembering to breathe? If you caught yourself holding your breath, that's not uncommon, but just breathe. Now step that right foot back down behind you, maybe even off the mat, so that we're stepping into a lunge and our front left knee bends. We'll turn this into Warrior One. If you need, left hand can hold the chair. If shoulder permits, right hand can reach to the sky. If you feel good with balance, you have the option to reach the left arm up. And how's our posture in Warrior One? Seen from the side, we want our tailbone pointing down, centered to the ground in that space between our feet. And we still want to have stacked hips, shoulders, and ears. If your arms are forward, will your shoulders allow you to bring your elbows back in line with your ears? If you feel really good about your balance, there's the option to track your gaze up the wall and across the ceiling to see if we can look up to the ceiling between our hands. How does raising your head affect your balance? When you're ready, track your gaze back across the ceiling, down to the wall. On the exhale, we'll bring the arms down, and now the right foot steps up to meet the left. If you need, shake out those hips. And we'll go to the left side of the chair. Okay. Again, to the left, we stand on right foot. Left knee comes up. Tailbone points down, still stacking hips, shoulders, ears. If you would like, hold the leg from the knee joint. The sole of the foot draws a big circle on the floor. Ankles don't do any work, looking great. Hip joint doesn't do any work, just the knee. This is really important for us to help maintain our balance as we walk. Because as our joints, like our ankles, our knees, and our hips tighten, it affects our ability to move our legs, and it affects our balance as we walk on uneven surfaces. When you're ready, now we step that left foot back behind us, so that as we stand in our lunge, our front right knee is bent. If you can, please have the toes and the knee pointing straight forward, tailbones pointing down. Let's see if we can inhale left arm up to the sky. If you need to hold the chair to be safe, you hold the chair. That's why we have it. If your balance is great and you want to try lifting the hand off or reaching the arm up, again, that's an option. If you feel really good with balance and you want to track your gaze up the wall and across the ceiling to look to the ceiling between your hands, that's an option. Everybody still breathing slowly and deeply? And we'll track our gaze back across the ceiling and down the wall to look forward. And as we bring the arms down, we'll step that left foot up. Good. If you need, shake out the hips. If you want, roll the shoulders, just to get rid of any tension. Now we're going to use our yoga block for some balance exercises. So whether you feel comfortable bending over to get it, if there's any glaucoma, high pressure in the eyes, any heart issues, any issues with vertigo or dizziness, please be welcome to sit down and get your block. Okay? We're going to go back to the left side of the chair. We're going to turn our block long ways to us, and then if you need, step back, put that block down on the ground. Okay? You get it down the way you can do so safely. All right? We're going to step just our right foot up onto the block. Left foot comes off the floor. And then step back down. Okay? And again, up onto the block. At home, if you don't have a yoga block, you can use a big book. I don't recommend a pillow. A pillow is just a little too squishy and won't give you the extra height. If you happen to have any of the aerobic step equipment, a stepper or a riser would be good. You can also do this at a stairway, standing, like if you have a second story to your house, hold on to the banister, step up onto the first step, and step back down. How's our balance? If we are using a yoga block, many of the foam yoga blocks have a little bit of give. So how does that affect your balance, stepping onto something that's a little squishy? When would we do that in real life? All the rain we've been having lately? You step outside, you step off the sidewalk, the ground's a little squishy, and it moves under your foot. You need to be able to keep your balance. Now let's switch feet. Maybe slide it over to the left a little bit. So this time when we step up onto the block, it's with our left foot, and right foot comes completely off the mat. Okay, and we just repeat. Now again, depending on your comfort level with your balance, you don't have to hold the chair, but if you need to hold the chair or you feel safer holding the chair, absolutely do what keeps you safe and what keeps you feeling safe. You're not going to lose any of the benefit of this exercise by holding the chair. Okay? Now let's go ahead and alternate which foot comes up. So we'll come up with right foot and step down. And then we'll switch to come up with left foot and step down. That's the way. So we tend to walk a little more normal. This is closer to our alternating right and left foot. When you put your right foot on the block, this time, take all your weight to that right foot. Can we stand there for just a moment? And if you let your left leg hang down the side of your right and you bend your left ankle like you were standing, notice, as we relax, this left leg, does the sole of your left foot hang down a little lower than your right? Does your body relax? Does gravity help open up that hip socket? So we're getting a little stretch in there. Okay, we'll switch sides. Now we'll step up onto the block with the left foot, or opposite of what you did last time. And again, as we just bend the ankle so our right foot is flat, notice, does your right leg hang longer than your left? Noticing how much gravity can help us create stretches when we don't have weight on the body. So if you're having any lower back discomfort, if you're having any hip discomfort, use this as an exercise at home to create a little stretch. Okay, we'll step down. Now we'll turn our block sideways. And this time we're going to try to put both feet on the block. Understand that, I don't know about you, but my foot is longer from toe to heel than the block is wide. So when I step on the block, I would like to have my foot centered. So a little bit of my heel is going to hang off in the back. My toes are going to hang off in the front. So we're going to get up with one foot and then the other. Okay. Ooh, how's our balance standing on a surface that's squishy? Notice that even though we think we're standing still, our weight very subtly and very unconsciously shifts from one part of our foot to the other. From one foot to the other. Can you feel your legs sort of wobbling underneath you? And when you're ready, carefully step back down. Okay. Now we're going to take our block, and you can bend over to do it or just use your foot to stand it on its long, skinny side. Well, now you may want to move it back a little closer to the back leg of your chair, because what we're going to do next is we are going to step up over the block with one foot and then the other. And once you're in front of the block, up. I saw people cheating. I saw this happening. Swinging the leg around the block. Up, over the block. Because sometimes we have to step over things in life. Okay? We have winter. And whether we like it or not, sometimes there are piles of snow. Okay? We have things in our house that sometimes we may have to step over. I have a cat that insists she has to sleep where I need to walk when it's a really narrow space and there's no room to walk around her. So I have to be able to step up over her. So sometimes there are things we have to step up over. Going forward's not so bad, is it? How's going backwards, lifting the legs up and stepping over? That's not quite as comfortable, but it's good training for our body. It's also great exercise and stretch for the hamstring muscles and the calf muscles. It's good for our sense of balance. And now take a break. This time, we are going to turn our block to its tallest side. Okay? And now we're really going to have fun with the block. Just like before, we're going to step up over, not swing around to the side, warning you in advance, up over with one foot, and then the other. Walk around your chair. And we are simply going to do this 3 more times. We're going to take our time, step up over the block, and then walk around the chair. So notice you're walking the circle in the same direction 2 more times. Take your time. There's no hurry. Now check your posture. We want to make sure we're not starting to droop. There you go. 1 more time around. Now, when you come over the block, this time, turn the opposite direction and walk all the way around the chair. And now we're coming to our block from a different direction, noticing which hand is available to hold on to the chair. First off, did changing the direction that you're walking around the circle affect how comfortable you feel with walking in the circle? Some of you look like you drank your breakfast this morning. I'm seeing some serious weeble wobbling happening out there. And last time when you get over the block, take a break. How are we feeling? A little dizzy? Is your heart rate a little higher? Is your breath coming a little faster? We didn't walk quickly, and we didn't necessarily do a ton of physical exertion, but we were doing something that made us physically and especially emotionally uncomfortable. For some of us, there was that little bit of fear of falling because we weren't always holding the chair. And anytime we feel the emotion of fear, it helps raise our heart rate. It helps us, well, not helps, it makes our heart beat faster. It makes our blood pressure go up a little bit. Okay? So we're going to come to the front of the chair. If you'd like, you can kick your block over and just slide it under the chair for later. We'll come to the front of the chair. We'll sit to the front edge of the chair. Oh, it feels good to sit down. Did your body and your brain just go, when you sat? Because now you feel safer, you feel more solid. We're going to do some stretches for hips and thighs. Let's have an inner hip stretch, inner thigh stretch. Because I have short legs, I like to put the little toe edges of my feet on the yoga block. If you have longer legs, you're more than welcome to have your feet to the floor. I like my feet up a little bit higher. And now, just relax those legs. Not a very ladylike pose, but that's okay. We want to create some openness in inner hips and inner thighs. Sounds crazy, but the more we can keep our hips limber, the less likely we are to experience lower back pain. Now let's check. Is our tailbone pointing down? Is the crown of our head reaching up? Are our shoulders rolled back? Let's bring our elbows to our ribs. We're going to bend our wrists. And now from the elbows, have your wrist, your palms of your hands. Draw circles on the wall in front of you. They're all going the same direction. Does one elbow move more freely or easily than the other? Or are they about equal? Can we reverse? Again, does changing the direction change the mobility, the range of motion of our elbow joints? Now, can we have them go out, up, in? And as we've changed the direction, are we still remembering to breathe? Or are we so busy concentrating on what we're doing that we catch ourselves holding our breath? It's not uncommon, so just a reminder, breathe. Now let's reverse. In, up, out. Okay, if we keep our elbows tucked in against our ribs, we are isolating the movement to our elbow joints. I'm seeing some of this. This means you're moving your shoulders. If you have elbows here, now you're moving only from the elbow joint, which is where we want to focus. Okay, let's do hands flat. We're going to inhale, bend the wrist to point the fingers up. Exhale, point the wrist down. And 3 more times, breathing in. Notice, do both wrists bend equally? Are we feeling the stretch in inner forearms and outer forearms? Are we feeling muscle strength in outer forearms and inner forearms? So when we move our body, one side is long while the other side is strong. So here, inner forearm is strong, outer is long. Here, outer forearm is strong, inner is long. Okay, now, can we make our wrists go side to side? Elbows are still, shoulders are still. Let's check our posture. Are we still sitting nice and tall? I caught myself starting to slouch a little bit, so let's inhale and grow. How are we doing with those wrists going side to side? And then when you're ready, whoo, shake out the hands. We'll put our feet flat to the floor. How do those inner thighs and hip sockets feel? We're going to do some outer hip stretch as well. Can we cross our left leg over our right? Maybe at the ankle, if possible, at the knee. If you need to use the arm to help cross at the knee, that's fine. We're going to inhale to sit tall. Right hand is going to hold the outside of the left leg, and on our breath out, we pull against that left leg to turn ourselves as far to the left and gently as far behind you as you can go. And breathe. Again, that twist through the waist, the ribs, the middle of the chest, the shoulders, the neck. Roll your eyes, look behind you. Keep those muscles that move our eyeballs strong. What else are we still remembering to do, please? Breathe, absolutely. Again, a breath in. Exhale, come on back to center. Now you can keep legs crossed at the ankle or the knee. If your body allows you to put your ankle across your knee, please do that. And we are going to sit up tall. We're going to bend at the hip joints to lean into our left leg. Oh, and as we bend at the hip, can we keep a straight spine? Can we keep a straight neck? If you would, please, lead with your heart. I'm seeing a lot of this happening, whether ankles crossed or knee. I'm starting to see this. This is not a forward bend. This is just bad posture. And it does nothing to affect the outer thigh or the lower back. It's called a forward bend because we bend at the joint, the hip joint. And whether we're crossed at the knee and we bring the whole torso forward, leading with the heart, or whether we cross with ankle on the knee. Again, we bend at the hip to bring our whole torso forward. So notice there's a nice long straight line from the crown of the head to the tailbone. I still have all that openness in the front of the body to breathe deeply. And now are we noticing some outer hip and thigh stretch, perhaps where our leg bone meets our hip socket. Inhale, come on up. Ooh, uncross that leg. Take a moment, just notice how differently left and right legs feel. Okay, and now we'll do the reverse. So we'll cross right over left at the ankle or at the knee. And as we inhale to sit tall, left hand pulls. Exhale to pull yourself into a great big turn to your right. Again, straighten up that spine. Reach the crown of your head up to the sky. And as we turn through the waist and the ribs and the chest and the shoulders and the neck, we're also using eyeball muscles, rolling our eyes behind us. Everybody's still breathing slowly and deeply. Hopefully you are, now that you've been reminded. Again, a breath in. Exhale, gently come back to center. Do you feel like you traveled further coming back to center than you did when you made your initial turn? And again, legs can stay crossed, right knee over left. Or if your body will allow you to put right ankle across left knee, let's get our good posture and lead with your heart. We don't need to drop our chin to our chest. We just look forward and think of your heart center reaching forward. If you need, think of your belly button reaching down to the space between your legs. And we breathe. And we can notice, how does right leg feel? Right inner thigh, right outer thigh. Are we feeling any stretch in our lower back from the small of our back over the back of our pelvis and down into our glutes, our buttocks? Keep breathing. Slow, deep inhales. Slow, complete exhales. And then when you're ready, inhale, come on back up. And we'll uncross the legs. We are going to have our feet about hip width apart so our knees are in line with our hips. We are going to tap the toes of both feet, left and right. Notice as you move the feet side to side, the knees go with it. So we're actually moving at the hip socket. Okay, does it feel good? Is it easy to do? We're going to challenge our brains. Rest your elbows by your ribs. Now as your toes go left and right, can we cross one hand over top of the other, alternating each time? Which hand's on top? Can we remember to breathe? I'm seeing folks rolling their eyes up. Some of you got your tongue out. It's okay. Just remember that regardless of what your body's doing, we still breathe in and out. Is it working? I'm hearing some chuckles. For some folks it is. For some folks it's like, I don't know what's happening there. It's okay. It's movement. And movement is good. Physical therapists will tell you that for your joints, motion is the lotion. If we want to keep our joints moving, we got to keep them moving. Got to keep them lubricated by moving. Now let's change. Let's take those toes and we'll tap them out and in. Again, leg bones are moving in the hip socket. And now as we do that, can we make our arms go side to side? And I think my answer is, not sure. Now I'm rolling my eyes up, but I'm still breathing. And you know what? Whether you get it or you don't get it, you're still moving, you're focusing, and this is called a moment of mindfulness. While we're trying to make our bodies do what we want them to do, I promise you're not thinking about something that happened at work, or a family disagreement, or a committee that you're on, and how could somebody do that? You're not worried about what if. You're thinking, how am I going to make this happen? Take a break. Let's shake out one leg a little bit. Just shake it. Feel the jello jiggle in your thighs. No matter how thin someone may be, the flesh is going to move. And this is actually good for our fascia, the very thin connective film that helps hold our muscle groups together. So we want to feel that whole leg shake. Are we starting to feel the thigh muscles getting tired too? Because they worked hard. Right? Sitting up nice and tall. Other leg. Can we do like a look at just to make it more fun? Because yoga doesn't have to be serious. We're shaking the leg from the hip socket. We're trying to recapture a feeling of when we were a little kid. We're also doing something good for the connective tissue in those muscles. Now let's do the same thing, arms. Oh, by the way, let the wrist shake too. Think about shaking out all your worries, shaking out all your cares, letting them run down from your brain, through your neck, out your shoulders, down your arms, shaking them off your fingertips. And when you're ready, release. And believe it or not, it's time for closing relaxation. So we'll slide back in the chair, find your comfortable position, Again, I like to put a block under my feet simply because I have short legs. You do what's comfortable for you. If your feet are chilly and you want to put your socks on or a sweatshirt, by all means, be welcome to do so. And then again, find that good posture where tailbone points down. Shoulders roll back so the chest opens. Arms can rest to our lap or to our sides, aligning our arms with our spine. Pointing our chin to our lap. Nose gently forward and ears back above our shoulders. Again, because we know we're in a safe place, I invite you to close your eyes. When our brains don't have to process all the visual images that our eyes see, when our eyes are closed, our brain gets to quiet. It doesn't have to do so much work. And that makes it easier for our brains to focus on how our bodies feel. So in that soft darkness behind closed eyelids, start at your forehead, noticing, is your forehead furrowed or relaxed? If it's furrowed, can you relax it? Are your eyelids gently closed or are you squeezing them? Let them be gently closed. What are you experiencing in the muscles in your cheeks and your jaws? If you're gritting your teeth, release. In fact, if your eyes are gently closed, you don't see anyone else, no one sees you, allow the jaw muscles to relax so that your lips part just a hair. And see if you can feel the tension draining out of the jaws. Continue on down from your neck to your fingertips, to your toes. Checking in with the muscles, checking in with the joints, releasing any discomfort, any tension, any tightness that you may find from head to toe. If worries or thoughts creep into your mind, let them go. If they're important, they'll come back to you later. But for now, just notice. How good does it feel to have this time after our stretches and our strengthening? To just relax and let go of anything that makes us uncomfortable. Whether it's a physical sensation, whether it's an emotion, whether it's a thought. Let it go. Today, as we enjoy our closing relaxation, I'd like to share with you a little quotation. And I don't know to whom to attribute this, but our quotation today says, "If you can't see the bright side, polish the dull side." If you can't see the bright side, polish the dull side. Maybe sometime in your life you've had to polish silverware or a silver tea service. Maybe you wax your car and you're buffing out the wax. Maybe you're polishing furniture to get rid of scuffs or nicks. If we don't make a habit of polishing things that get dull, what happens? They just get duller and darker and less attractive. Same thing happens in our lives. If we don't make an effort to polish up the dull side, all we see are things that become darker and darker and less attractive. If you ever get rust in your car and you don't get it polished off, or if you have a silver service and you get tarnish on it and you don't polish it off, we know that tarnish and rust are like little spots of cancer. And if we don't attend to them when they're little, they just grow bigger and bigger and bigger, ultimately ruining what they're on. Negativity within us is the same way. If all we focus on is the negativity in life, it becomes like a cancer and it grows within us, ruining our ability to experience happiness, gratitude, joy. So don't let that cancer grow within you. When you find yourself thinking dull thoughts or feeling dull or drained emotions, know that that's temporary. Everything ends. Everything changes if we make the effort. If you allow yourself to sink down into that quagmire of negativity, yes, you'll get stuck there. But if you make the effort, remember I said lift your heart, lift your gaze to lift your spirits. That's how we polish the dull to make it bright and better. We look for the good things in life to find those happy, shiny moments. So if you can't see the bright side of your life right now, polish the dull side to get rid of the darkness, to help things start to slowly lighten and brighten until ultimately they begin to shine again. So just take a moment. Eyes still closed. Bodies relaxed. Breath flowing smoothly and easily. And perhaps think, what dull spots are there in your life that with a little attention we could polish up and brighten and in turn into something so much better. Doesn't have to be a big major issue. It can be something small. Because everything that we do to banish the darkness means there's more brightness and happiness and joy in our lives. And isn't that what we all really want? To be happy. From here, as you're ready, let's do a big breath in, reaching and stretching with arms. Maybe look up. Oh, stretch out with your legs. If your body wants to yawn, absolutely yawn. They're great tension relievers. And when you're ready, come on back down. And give yourself some applause for being here with us today. For those of you that are here in person, thank you so much. For those of you joining us on the Community Arts Center of Cambria County's YouTube channel, thank you so much. If you're joining us through YouTube, we do invite you to join us in person. We have regular yoga classes every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 and Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. And we have our chair yoga classes every Wednesday morning at 8:30. So contact the Community Arts Center at 814-255-6515 to sign up and join us in person, because it's a lot more fun with friends. Everybody, thank you so much. Namaste.